Welcome, everyone, to this fourth week of series on brand mastery. Today, we have a very unique concept, and that is unfold your uniqueness. So, this is about unfolding. This is based on unfolding theory in change management, and through this, you'll be able to explore the ability to make a change in your situation. So we have very interesting speaker with us. His name is Aravindan Arumugam. I hope I pronounced it right. He is origami transformation coach. He was born in vibrant city of London in 1971. His early upbringing of transversing across various defense colonies in India made an impact in his life and his worldview, which shaped a unique perspective. An unbreakable bond formed with the Super 8 camera at home ultimately propelled him to achieve the esteemed gold medal for film direction at the prestigious Film and Television Institute of Tamil Nadu. So welcome, Arvindan. Welcome to this platform, and we are very proud and privileged to have you with us. I will hand over the stage to you now.
Thank you so much. So yeah, since we are, this is a presentation which I make and which is basically like what Jane told you. It's about unfolding your core self, right? So how we actually have a fixed model and how we can break that model and how we can unfold ourselves to receive any form we want. So I would just jump on to my presentation and make it. It will be an interactive presentation. So I would like you guys to participate in the presentation. So let me just go ahead and. Right. So if you guys can see my chart, my presentation, just give me a nod, or just you can just voice it out and say yes. So
yes, we can see.
Thank you. Okay, so right. So let's just jump onto it straight. So have you seen this kind of what the left brain is and what the right brain is? Do you know about this concept of that the right brain is for creativity and left brain is for logic, and most of our logical functions is on the left side and creative stuff is on the right side. Is everyone over here aware of something like this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
lovely. Okay, so great. So now that we are all in the same plane, okay, I ask you a question. How many colors in the rainbow? Like quick answer.
So, Arvind, do you want us to keep unmute to make it interactive?
Yeah, unmute will be great. Yes.
Yes, okay. So everyone feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
So 7 colors in the rainbow?
7 colors in the rainbow. Okay, that's a perfect answer. It says 7. Okay, great. But now, when did you learn this? You learned this when you were in, say, 3rd standard, 4th standard? Is that okay?
Yeah, primary school.
Yes.
Primary school? That's right. Okay, so now, once the movie went into, say, 6th standard or 7th standard, you know that this is really not true. So there are 16.8 million colors in the rainbow. Okay. Yeah. And,
Right.
and white light goes into a prism and becomes 16.8 million. So we have 3 answers. It could be 1, it could be 16.8 million, and it could be 7. Okay, so what would you prefer? Now 7 is
easy to 7 is easy to actually
but it's really not true. It's really easy to comprehend, but it's a false answer, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so you told one false model when you were in 3rd standard, take 7 crayons, okay, and put that, and then you're told, no, this is a huge thing. And when we say 16.8 million, we're actually talking about 16.8 million colors, which the human eye can distinguish. There's obviously way more bandwidth for certain other animals, right? So But yeah, everybody's kind of getting the grip of what I'm trying to say here. And basically, Einstein said one thing: any intelligent fool can make things complex. It takes a touch of genius to make things simple. So, if you say 16.8 million, it becomes super complex, right? So, and
Right.
you can't fathom that thing. So, and also he said one more thing: everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. So basically what happens is if you make it too simple like white, that doesn't work. Like if you see Jane's wall right now, it's white in color, but is that a rainbow? No, it's not. Okay, so, and we have multitude of colors right now in my frame and her frame. Are we both rainbows? No, it's not. Okay, so basically you need to be able to have some kind of a simplified model, even if it's false, right? So even if the answer is false, it needs to be something which you can hold on to. So basically it's Newton who actually made this model and said that, there are 7 colors. And actually there are 6 colors. Even if you want to, there are 3 primary colors and you get the derivative to 3 secondary colors. So it should be 6, not 7. But Newton was a religious man. He believed in 7 angels and 7, the 7 apostles and all that. So 7 was the lucky number. So he just added one more color called indigo. Technically, indigo should not be there when you have violet, right? So because if you have indigo, then next to blue will be cyan, and next to orange will be, one more color. So that's going to get, you're going to keep adding colors. So that one color was a false color, which we still follow. So now we have 4 answers. Okay, so you have 1, you have 16.8 million, you have 6, and you have 7. Okay, so 7 was what we were taught. Even if you want to simplify, it would be 6. So a lot of people are adapting, 6 as in color. Now, do you want to change your answer? You have 4 choices. And I've just changed your model of what you were thinking. And I've given you 4 logics, 4 different logics for each one of them. All of them could be true, but what is true for you? So you're free to change your answer. I mean, now that you learned something, you can change your model.
Maybe it's just one color manifested in many.
Maybe it's one color. So Jane wants to change her answer to 1. So anybody else?
16.8.
16.8 million. So, okay, so now both of you are actually going to the real physics of what you've learned further. So you broadened your horizon from the false answer to something physically true. Anybody else wants to participate, or shall I just go on? Okay, lovely. So we have 2 answers. Okay, so we have 1 and 1, 16.8 million. Now, Jane and who was the other lady? Nafisa. Okay, so basically, I call you at 3 o'clock in the morning and ask you this question: how many colors in the rainbow?
7.
You're going to say, shut up, 7. Okay.
I agree with you.
So even though you just agreed now, I know it's a completely true answer. What you gave 1 and 16.8 million is deeply physically true. It can be proved. 6 and 7 are false answers, but you still said 7 because it's been ingrained in your head, and this model has been ingrained. And why is it ingrained? Because as a kid, when you were told repeatedly, this is what you drew. This is what you came out with. You said, it's 7 colors, right? So, and that's got into your head. That's a model which we have in our head. But it's easy to hold on to it. That picture looks really nice. It actually represents the rainbow. It kind of works in your head. It works on the visual cortex. It just works in your head. 1 and 16.8 million doesn't work. Okay, so even though it's the true answer, right? So now how do we change this? How do we change this model? We get stuck with a model and we get ingrained with so many false models. And how do we actually change this? Okay, so change is, there's a growth mindset to a change. So it means external change as well as the internal transformation, right? So now, so I'll do a little experiment, although you guys don't have paper, we'll just, change is not the same as transformation. And normally I do this because I'm a paper folding artist and the whole workshop is with paper folding. And I tell you how the origami infusion came up with this theory. So normally I just say, take a piece of paper and write the word crease. That is C-R-E-A-S-E, crease. And then, of course, you don't need to write it now, but, and then you write it again. Okay. Now you write the word IN in front of the first word and write the word DE in front of the second word. It will become increase and become decrease. So, all you did was added 2 letters. Now you take an eraser and rub this whole thing off. Now the entire paper is blank again. Okay, so now nothing really happened, right? There was change in some form. But now, when you say transformation of the same thing, now take the paper and make a crease, fold it. Actually fold it. And now take an eraser and erase it whatever you want, or iron it, or do anything. But this is a permanent crease. Now that's a transformation. So that's the difference between the whole thing, right? So it is where you can have one particular, you're trying to make a change, but are you making a transformation inside? And when you make a transformation inside, you can actually make a change, right? So otherwise, it's like how you accepted the answer 1 and 16.8 million, but you didn't make a transformation. Deep inside, it was still 7, right? So it will need a lot of training to actually make the transformation. So yeah, now I give you another thing of what this whole thing is. Basically, you have, if you see this, yeah, you have like this William Bridges, who said that, whatever 24 hours you learn something, you're going to forget 2/3 of it. Okay, so whatever you learn today or you learn every day, your brain is meant to erase, meant to, remove the whole junk of what you learn. You're going to get only a very little on holding the whole thing. So now I ask you, are you stuck with any model? Are you stuck with any mental models? Loads of them, right? Many. We are stuck with many mental models. So, okay, here's a group which understands that we are stuck. A lot of people don't even know they're stuck, right? Okay, most of the time they don't know what you're stuck with. So now I'll give you an example of how you were stuck with a model, right? One was that rainbow, but here's the first slide I told you. Okay, you talked about the left brain and right brain. We all agree. We know that left is logic and right is, the creative part of it. Okay. But actually, this whole theory of the left brain, right brain came from Robert Perry. Okay, and he was a Nobel Prize winner for having studied this, and he studied in epilepsy patients, and he got this whole thing. He got a Nobel Prize for this very theory. But that same theory was actually by Carl Zimmer was disproved. Okay, he said that both the lobes work together. Okay, so you cannot cite that this is the logic side and this is the creative side. And this whole thing of after it's been disproved, the man got the Nobel Prize and the person came and disproved it, and we know. So if I still tell you it's left brain, right brain, you will still believe it. Okay, you will still believe in this logic, just like how the 7 colors in the rainbow. So this is called the Barnum effect or the Forer effect. So basically, if I take a false thing and I keep saying the false, I repeat the false, that becomes true in your head. Okay, so that actually becomes, so that is called the Barnum effect. So we basically, even if it's false, if you put it into memory in a repeated loop, we actually accept it. Okay, right? So now, but in order to make a change, you will have to go through this crazy graph. It's called the change curve as a transition. So what happens is the first time then when a truth is broken, your model is broken, there is a shock and denial. Okay, so that's exactly what you got right now. When I said that 7 is not the rainbow color, that's a shock. What the hell are you talking about? I learned this all my life. Okay, so and then you go through, no, this guy is bullshit, anger and guilt and whatever. Okay, so then you get into depression. What did they teach me? Okay, so they taught me all false things in school. Okay, and they taught me something else. Why do they keep changing? Then there's a regret and then there's an acceptance. So there's a dip in the curve until you form, and then it becomes really frozen. Okay, right? So in you can train yourself to actually do anything. So that's like regardless of nature of who you are, you can be trained to do anything. This was done by John Watson, and one of the models which he did was so here is an art form by this artist called Enscape. Okay, so what he does here is he takes a banana and he takes a little needle and he pokes it. So while he's poking it, it's invisible. You can't see anything. Neither can you. And then he leaves the banana. And in 2 days, you get this art.
Wow.
And in 5 days, the entire banana is black. So the art is not there. Okay, so basically he's saying that nothing is permanent, right? So, but he saw it 2 days in advance before you. And so when you're poking it, you're saying, what the hell? I don't see anything. And then after it comes in 2 days, because of the decay, you see this stuff, but he saw it before you. And 3 days later, it's only recorded in camera because he can't preserve this. He can't put it as a painting. He can't put it as a sculpture. The art is gone. In 3 days, it's disappeared. It's a black banana. It's a completely gone thing. And now you're feeling, oh shit, what a beautiful art. It's gone. But he doesn't feel it. He's gone to such an evolution level where he says that art itself is not permanent. In fact, nothing is permanent. Okay. And he just proved it with this experiment, right? So, and now this is what we're talking about. Like you can provoke a response, okay, with an external stimuli. So it, at the sight of food can make you, feel that, your saliva can come up. This happens in animals, it happens in us, and all that. So you can also do the exact opposite. You can actually unlearn a response with a stimulus. So if you can learn, if a stimulus can create a learning, a stimulus can also create an unlearn, the reverse. So that's what we are actually talking about here. We're talking about if you learn something, you want to unlearn it. And what you can do with that is, like a simple example is a deep relaxation, okay, can reduce fear. Like if you get into meditation, you can reduce fear because two responses cannot be there at the same time. So when I'm actually doing a meditation or a deep relaxation, there is no room for the fear to come in because you're already relaxed. So you can do the reverse. You can actually use the stimuli to do the reverse, right? So now I'm going to show you a story. I'm a storyteller. I'm a filmmaker. And so instead of all the gyan which you talked about, we'll run through a story. And this story will basically take you through my journey of how I actually made this, art of paper folding into a transformation model, right? So here's a piece of paper, right? So now the paper has absolutely no value. If I don't write anything in a piece of paper, it has no value, right? So let's say, you write, you're in a restaurant, the guy is there and, he meets his first date for the first time and he gets a number written in a tissue paper, okay, a phone number. Now that is such an important paper, right? Okay, suddenly that number which he has written, scribbled on a paper becomes so important. So the moment you write something, there's a value to that paper, right? So let's say, what else could be valuable if you've written something? Anybody? How do you make a paper valuable?
Somebody's address.
Somebody address, perfect. Something else?
Documents, like agreements.
Documents, yes, documents. Agreements. Yeah, now it becomes really serious, right? Agreements. You don't want to lose that paper. Some identity card. Okay, really serious. How about currency? How about money?
Oh,
Yes.
oh yeah.
Yes. So the moment I print a paper, something on it, it becomes super important, right? Okay. So now here is one paper. Let's take the journey of this paper. The paper actually became a 20 rupee note, right? Okay. So now what would be the worth of this 20 rupees? How does this 20 rupee feel right now? After becoming like a blank piece of paper, went into the printing press with all that watermark and all that garment, comes out at 20 rupees. This is you as a person. You've gone out. What would it be? You're a graduate. Okay, so you become 20 rupees. You become a graduate, right? It's super important. What have you graduated as? At 20 rupees. So this is something like how you will introduce yourself, right? I have graduated, I've postgraduated, I've become a doctor, whatever, right? Okay. So, and how do you get it? You get that seal for yourself. You get the government seal for yourself, right? So here's the 20 rupees. Blank piece of paper became 20 and immediately, went into the world. And now the 20 rupees is in a corporate house and it has become, the team leader. So when you become a team leader, what do you get? You get a team. Okay, so you get a team of 10 rupee notes, all juniors under you. So he's quite proud about being a team leader. You're a 20 rupee note, fantastic. So, but then there's a boss over you, right? And who could that boss be? Yeah, 100 rupees. Okay, he's a bigger boss. He's more qualified. So, and there's a boss over him. Who could that boss be?
500 or
500.
oh,
Yeah. So yeah, you have 2,000. Okay, so 500 or 2,000. Yes, yeah, many bosses. Let's say this is the CEO of the company. It's 2,000 rupee note. But now who could be higher than this?
RBI? I mean, the one,
RBI, no. We're talking about only currency.
okay, only the paper.
Only the paper, yeah. The highest boss is 2,000. 2,000 is the highest currency, right? Right now, but then this is this is actually a subsidiary company of an American firm, like a call center. So the boss actually is $100 bill. Okay, so right now it's $100 bill. Okay, it's only 100. It's not 2,000. But the $100 bill became more valuable than the 2,000, even though the number, I told you about the number, right? Now the number is 100, but somehow it is bigger than 2,000 in the same real estate, in the real estate of the paper. So the value of that print has changed, right? Okay, so now you see the whole hierarchy. But what happened during COVID times, companies shut down, a lot of issues happened. So the people who actually got hit was not the $100 bill or the 2,000 or the CEO. It's the bottom line who already got the, when his job went off. It's the 10 rupee note which felt the pinch because he is hand to mouth, right? So he felt the pinch and he got torn. Now, if you get torn, you're like out. What happens next? If you don't have the ability, you don't get a job, you're sacked. If you get sacked in the paper world, if you get sacked, you get deposited back to the RBI. Okay. And if you get deposited back, you're out of your job, you're out of the social circle, right? So now this made our 20 rupee note really think, and he got really, he got really sad. One of his team members was sacked. And what the hell is happening? After COVID, he came back, half his team members are not there. He said this, corporate capital system is so fucked up. Okay, so, we need to really, I need a break. So his friend says, okay, take a break. So he takes a journey and he takes a boat and he travels to an island. And imagine this, for the first time, have you ever imagined this guy travels to the island and the back of a 20 rupee note is an island? Okay, he didn't know that there was an island behind his note. Neither did you, right? You never saw all the artwork which is printed. And this island is a real island.
It's true.
Okay. This island is not this lithographic sketch is a real island. It's actually the North Bay beach and it's the Bay Island. So if you go to Ross Island in Andaman Nicobar, in the deep part of in the south, the Andaman Nicobar Islands, and you go to Ross Island, which is next to basically the Port Blair, from there you will see the North Bay Island. And this is the sketch of the North Bay Island. So here's a 20 rupee note, and that's the North Bay Island. It's the exact same sketch. Okay, so now this guy goes into an island and he says, oof, there's an island. This is my island. And now he's traveling within himself. He's going inside. Okay, and it's a metaphor to go inside. How do you travel inside? And he say, I want to see my island. This is my island. Let me travel inside. So he travels inside. And in that island, like anybody else, okay, there is this, a lot of people who are shopping, right? So now, when they're shopping, they see this beautiful origami jewelry, right? So now these jewelry are made out of paper. Okay, so now I want you to tell me, like, what do you pay for the price of this jewelry? It's an artificial jewelry. It's not a heavy metal jewelry. So it's in the artificial space. What did you pay for it?
I think depends upon from where do we buy.
Yeah, you're buying it from, say, Andaman Nicobar or whatever there. And it's obviously a well-crafted piece of paper. which is varnished and it's permanent. So
Maybe
100 at least?
100 rupees. Okay, and then can you go on? So yeah, this basically sells from 100 rupees to 1,000 rupees, right? So around that space.
Yeah.
So now what I'm going to do right in front of your eyes, okay, right? So you had a blank piece of paper, okay, and this blank piece of paper became a 20 rupee note. So I have a 20 rupee note here, and it has faced crisis during COVID. It has lost its job, and it's getting torn, right? And it's getting torn, and it's having problems, personal problems. It gets torn further, and gets torn, and gets completely ripped. Now, what is this worth? If I tear a currency note, what's it worth? Zero, right? Absolutely zero. Okay, so here's a paper which became valuable as 20 rupees, and circumstances made it zero. That means less than paper, less than a white sheet of paper. Now, this is absolutely nothing, right? It's completely gone, right? So now I'm just going to sell this to you for 100 to 1,000 rupees. That means way more, 10 times its value, or maybe no, not 10 times. I'm talking about at least, if it's 100 rupees, it'd be how much? 50 times its value. Okay, so how? That's a 20 rupee note made into that jewelry. And it's sold.
Oh, okay.
So this very paper, okay, and if you see the center pink jewelry there, that center piece which is there, that's made out of this.
okay.
And you just bought it for 100 rupees. And there are people who bought it for 1,000 rupees. And we sold this in Amazon. Okay, so
Wow.
we sold this very, very origami piece as a jewelry piece. So I'm just showing you that 20 rupees got sold at 1,000 rupees. But did the 20 rupee ever think that it can be more valuable than 20? Did the society, did you think that you can ever be more valuable than 20?
No.
No, at 20 rupees is 20 rupees. I give you 20 rupees, you just get 20 rupees back, or 20 rupees worth. But now you just imagine I give you 20 rupees, you give me 1,000 rupees. Will you ever do that?
No.
No. And I took a 20 rupees and tore it. And I give you 2 sheets of torn paper, you give me 1,000 rupees. What is the
No.
change? No way. Right? Okay. Yeah. But you just did. You
True.
just did. Okay, the thing was, what did it do? It transformed itself. The paper transformed itself from being called worthless. So if you're being labeled, you go to a university, you go somewhere, you get a label, you become a graduate. The first time you go to a conference and a meeting, what do? You say, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, I'm a anything. I'm a nurse, I'm a technician, I'm a welder, I'm an architect, anything, right? So, but you just label yourself with that card. That very card, you're labeling yourself. The government is labeling yourself. Yes, I got a certificate, I got this gold medal, blah, blah, whatever. And I'm this. No, you're not that. You're a human being who's capable of doing anything. And why did you label yourself all this year? So you're repeatedly labeling yourself. So there's a Barnum effect happening onto you. You're again and again telling yourself that I'm this. Even if that thing is what you consider valuable. Okay, if you think I'm a doctor and I'm a heart surgeon, I say I'm a heart surgeon, I'm the best heart surgeon, great. But you're just a heart surgeon. No, you could be anything you want. And so we carry on with this. Okay, so yeah, of course, I do this actual folding exercise, which we will skip, right? And so now, yeah. Now what I'm saying is Steve Jobs said one thing, one of the fundamental motivation that is when you make something with love and care, even though you probably will never meet the people you're making it for, you will never shake their hand. By making something with care, you're expressing your gratitude to humanity, to the species. So why do you buy an iPhone for 1.5 lakhs? Why do you buy a phone for 1.5 lakhs? It is ridiculous, right? What a price tag. Okay, why would you buy a Porsche or some car for like a crore, a couple of crores, or something like that? It's just 4 wheels. and some metal on top, which takes you from point A to point B. Pretty much any other vehicle does that. No, you want to be with those people who have engineered that. There's an art form, there's an elevation to that particular art form. Okay? And you want to be associated with that art form, and therefore you want to elevate yourself. You feel that object is going to elevate yourself to whatever model you are. So therefore
It's a
you want to,
statement issue.
it's a statement, it's a brand, it's a statement. You want to be associated with that brand. Okay, so when you want to arrive at a party in a 5-star restaurant, no, you don't want to go casual. You want to go, you want to, if you are invited in the red carpet in the Cannes festival, you want to be in this fabulous designer clothes, which is also designed by a fabulous designer and blah, blah, blah. And there's a paparazzi who's asking you, okay, who designed this? Oh, this person designed this. It's all part of that particular occasion, right? You want to live up to that particular occasion, and you want to associate yourself with that particular brand. So you're elevating yourself to that particular brand of whatever it is, right? So now this whole thing is, I made a whole thing called 3691. Okay, that basically is this origami model. Okay, which is basically this model which I'm holding out here. Okay, so you have a red, yellow, and blue. Okay, so and essentially it comes from this salt cellar model. You remember you've done this chip chop when you were kids.
Yeah.
And which color do you want? Blah blah blah. Right? Okay, so and yeah, instead of 4, that is 3. This whole thing is about 3 colors: red, blue, yellow for now. Okay, it does open up into 6 further. This is the 3 conflicts. Basically, it's love, wisdom, and power. Okay, and this principle has been repeated over, this triad principle has been repeated over and over again. And what we would see is the 3 basic salts. The red is basically your power or your salary or your money. Okay, right? So, and the blue is the taste, which is basically your savor. You savor the taste, and that's what you're called love or passion to something. And yellow is basically wisdom. You're asking, like, the whole knowledge of what is the meaning of stuff, right? So that is substance. So we go on to Artha, Kama, and Dharma, or Sat, Chit, Ananda, or ethos, pathos, and logos. Okay, so you will see this principle of triad everywhere, and it's financial fulfillment, desire fulfillment, and moral fulfillment, right? That's how this thing goes. But let me tell you, how did I ever arrive at this? And this basically is called 369, but we are talking about 3 principles here. And then it goes into 6 quotients, which is intelligent quotient, and emotional quotient, spiritual quotient. Then you have physical quotient, and creativity quotient, and adversity quotient. That's the 6 quotients. And then we further can open this model up, and you have 9 principles here. Okay, 9 principles, and then finally you go into 1, which is the 1 quest. So, okay, this is a very detailed, principle of how it is. But I'll tell you the story of how did I actually arrive at this, and how do I coach people with this transformation to personal transformation. So I am basically a filmmaker, like Jane had already told you in the beginning, and I graduated in botany, learned interior design, and from then on went on to postgraduate in making in the film school, got a gold medal there, worked for 10 years in the film industry, and I got into visual effects. I've done visual effects for over 14 feature films, and in the year 2000, I did a visual effects for Mani Ratnam's Alai Paide, which is Satya's original version, which became a shot which was never done in the country before. So that made me, come. They called me to Bombay, and famous studios called me here. So then I set up my shop. I've been in Bombay for 23 years here in Bollywood, and I've done several, several films here. Now, I also became the first motion control camera operator. So there you can see the robotics. I'm actually operating this huge motion control crane, and which was used in Tanaji and such films. So I'm using, big equipments, and one of the few technicians who are doing that. I also got into projection mapping. projection mapping is where you project on facades and buildings. And here we have set up the whole Star TV studio too. The entire studio was set up by me. Okay, so now you are having, so I've learned my craft. I know how to direct loads of technical stuff. And then in 2011, something phenomenal happens. Okay, so in 2011, I finally get to direct my film, which I've been pitching for a long time. When the film is at 90% stage, my mom gets into a stroke on the left side, and then on the left hemisphere, and then she has a stroke on the right lobe, and then she has a stroke on the corpus callosum, which is in the center, and she has TB meningitis in brain. There are 3 strokes and TB meningitis in brain, 45 days in the ICU, and she still survives this whole thing. Okay, and she is discharged overnight. I need to set up a hospital at home. So I set up a hospital at home. There's a legal tussle with the producers on my film. My very first film, which I want to direct, it comes to a standstill. It stops. And I am actually nursing my mom with an RT tube, and she's in a vegetative state all the while. Okay, so, and from then, what happens is, that 1 year was one crazy, crazy year. Okay, so in 2011, what actually happened was, and then me and my first wife, we separated. And okay, but it's all amicable. We actually have a divorce party. We call friends over, and yeah, that kind of a separate, but it did happen. Then I also had a nerve entrapment. So I was playing with my dog, and my right hand middle finger gets paralyzed. So now I cannot go for shooting because of my mom's condition. I cannot do graphics, which I'm proficient in, because I'm banned from using the mouse. Okay, and so everything I have learned comes to a standstill. Every single thing which I've learned has stopped. So imagine, whatever you learned in 30, 40 years, nothing is going to work, and I'm in debt. So yeah, at this point in time, you're questioning what the hell is going on, So, and 1 year of everything which can go wrong, right? So, and I'm going into physiotherapy every alternate day, and it's a stinging pain which I have, and this is like, it's a nerve which is trapped. It's like even, it's like I've been doing physiotherapy for a long time. And then my physiotherapist tells me that you need to start doing 2-hand exercises. You can't keep clicking the mouse. And that's where this whole thing changed. And I, basically got into, okay, what can I do as 2-hand exercises? I used to do watercolor painting, penning, drawing, and, going to ornithology, a lot of things before filming. So one of the things was origami. And origami is basically the science of paper folding. Okay. And origami itself is divided into craft, science, and philosophy. And craft is basically what you've seen, right? You've folded a paper plane or made a paper crane and simple thing. And that obviously it starts with a very ancient form in Japan. But since I had a gap of about 10, 15 years and maybe even 20 years of what origami was. From doing small models, origami has become stunning. People are doing like not 30 steps, they're doing some 300 steps. So this is by Hojo Takashi, an origami model, and this is by Ronald Coe. There's one single sheet of paper. You cannot cut, you cannot paste, you can only fold, you can only transform the paper. So that's why I like this art. You can only transform. You cannot add, like you cannot add a brain to your brain, or you cannot subtract any bad memory from your brain. You only have your brain to transform. So that's one. And this is Brian Chan, who is actually an MIT scientist who's folded this. And this is one of the most complex origamis. And this is by a French artist. So, and the science part of it also has gone crazy. They use origami for the satellite wing folding. The Chandrayaan rover, which is there when the solar panel has to open, it has to accurately open the same thing every time. So they use origami for that. They use it for miniature robots. They use it for making refuge tents. So, and they're studying animals all the time to do stuff. So of course, the science part of it goes absolutely crazy. What I was interested in is in the philosophy part of it. And when I was doing this, this paper folding, and so what actually happened was friends of mine in the film industry started calling me for, hey, why don't you come over and teach us origami? Okay, so the fun part actually started. I started teaching origami, and they actually paid me for it. And they paid me a little thing for the paper and the time I was giving. Now this kind of took off, and they are, one of the film people, they asked me like, they wanted an origami in their film. And so I folded a more complex origami. And then, there was a commercial for Big Bazaar where they wanted a towel to look like a human face. And they traced somebody in the film industry. Now I'm still connected to the film industry, but the new stream has opened up with origami and film. And they paid me, believe me or not, they paid me 50,000 rupees for 2 hours to fold this cloth up to look like a human face. And which was more than that motion control camera where I was the only operator. So now this suddenly became viral with the corporate workshops. A lot of people started calling, and there's like workshops going on everywhere. And yeah, you can see this huge installation. That's a 1,000 crane installation on the right side. And then another one, which we did a lot of installation of. So, and this whole thing comes down as a circle. Just this year beginning, and in November, December, there's a person who calls me that, can you make an installation, a light installation for a restaurant? So this is the result. I made a 40 feet by 8 feet origami model for a light, which is there in Mumbai it's called Mool. So it's a multi-cuisine restaurant in Fort Mumbai. And I executed this with 1,800 flowers. There's 1,800 models from 52 centimeters to 3 centimeters. And this has been executed in 2 months. And yeah, This is a live thing. So you can
This
see
is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
So in 1989, I studied interior decoration, where there were no computers. I studied it with the draftsman, with how an engineer does with draftsman and drawing on paper. And the first application of that, I do it after 24 years. And I'm called to commission with an origami light. So, and then I attended a conference almost immediately, a lighting conference of 2 days in Hyatt, where, people who have been doing light engineering for about, 30 years, they attended the conference. And I showed them this, and they said, wow. And I was featured in the architecture magazine. So here's a filmmaker who left everything else, wanted to make a film, but life gets stuck. Okay, things go wrong, and everything comes to a standstill. So what do? You take a piece of paper and you become a model, and you're stuck with that model. No, you're not stuck. You open the paper again, and you flatten it out, and now you can become any model you want. And that's exactly what I did. Now I have a new company and new stream of income into architecture, and both are connected. And everything is connected. So now, basically, it's not that visiting card. It is never, when next time somebody asks you, what are you? Don't say, you say you can do anything. Because they don't ask Elon Musk, what are you, right? They ask middle-class people who are in a job structure what you are. They want you to become something so you fit the wheel and the whole system, which works. But Elon Musk is actually making an electric car. He's sending us, a spacecraft. He's sending a vehicle to space. He's making underground transportation. He's buying Twitter. Okay, he can do pretty much anything he wants. If he can, why can't you? And in fact, you take any of the top people. If you ask, Tata, what is he doing? Well, they started with steel, but today they are into anything, right? They're into car manufacturing. They go into FMCG. They go into everything. So the top person doesn't think that, okay, I am this. They can pretty much do whatever you want. And what are they doing? When they start a new venture, it's not easy. Even if you have the money and you want to start a new company, you need to unfold yourself. You need to start from the beginning for that particular stream. Even the person may have all the resources, can put everybody, but you have to compete with somebody who's already in the market for many years. So you have to learn from the beginning. So that is the internal transformation. And that's what I was talking about. That's what we talk about, artha, kama, and dharma. And what happens is your financial fulfillment is artha, and your desire fulfillment is kama, your passion. And what mostly this happens to every individual is basically, you need to survive and you need to do something. So you basically, this red basically opens up, right? And most of the time you're saying, okay, it comes like, okay, what do I want to do? This blue, actually, the desire. Okay, I want to be, say, a furniture designer. Great. How do I become a furniture designer? So how do I become a furniture designer? I go to NID, I do a diploma in furniture design. Great. Okay, now that I have the qualification, then it says, okay, how do I actually, learn the business? Okay, how do I learn the business? And then, what do I do? I want to become a furniture designer, so I want to learn the business. So he says, okay, how do you do it? You actually go to, you become an intern. And then eventually somebody gives you a furniture to design and you become, so this what and how is red and blue always. Okay. And then 30 years, 35 years passes by, you have a business, you make your own little shop, you sell furniture, and it hits a point. It hits a barricade, it hits a point where it says, then you say, why the hell am I doing this? And that's where this yellow thing comes up. Why am I doing this? And then the transformation happens. And then you say, okay, why have I been actually doing this? And then that's the dharma. That's the moral fulfillment. When you open that up, then you will have to open a lot of things up. Then you'll have to open this entire thing up to find out who you are. And then you find out your 6 quotients and what are you good at and what is it stringing, what is it connected to. In that 6, you open it further and you go to this. I can actually stop the slide share. So yeah, then you open the, this thing, and in this 9, which character are you? And then you open it further as to what is called as an existential crisis, right? What is your existential fulfillment? Why are you very here in this earth? What do you really want to be? And at this point of time, everything opens up when you reach this point. And this entire paper is opened up. So every single thing is become. Now it doesn't have the model anymore. It's gone. Now the model which you were is completely gone. And now you need to restart and refold. And this is the time you have unfolded. You probably have not found your why yet, but you actually have at least, gone to find yourself. And then you will find the spark. You will find a spark as to how to, find yourself. And yeah, so that's the whole thing about internal transformation versus change. So that's, and how do you unfold your core uniqueness? So I actually have a course with this. So yeah, we can actually, if you have more further participants, then we can actually conduct a workshop, which I usually do. So we can also, take it with Jane and she can have this thing and we can actually give you a discount if you're an Edunier member and we can take this further. If obviously there are more participants and then we can conduct this whenever Jane wants it next. So yeah,
yes,
that's
we'll be looking forward for something like this.
yes. So yeah, so that is what it is. Any questions? And I'm good for it. So, and you can open your mics and
Yes.
how did I do with time, Jane? Are we okay?
Perfect. Yes.
Oh,
Very
thank
much
you.
on time.
Yeah, hi Jane, this is Arvind. Can you speak?
Yes, Arvind. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good.
Arvind
How are
here.
you? Yes, yes.
Yeah,
How are
I'm
you?
doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah. Just to bring up to date the other members who are there today,
Yeah.
and also to those to whom this video will be shared, eventually reaching out to thousands of teachers across India.
Right.
I have been one of the lucky few to have undergone this personal transformation program with Mr. Arvindan.
Yes.
This was a couple of years back when I was really going through a identity crisis, kind of, you can say, having undergone a few personal and health issues, and was on you can say, a crossroad wherein I was unsure as to how to go forward. That's when I had this one-on-one session with him, and believe me, that really changed the way you got a glimpse of how it changes in just this 15-minute session. So you can imagine how how much of an impact it will have if you do the complete course. So I would suggest you do it, because post that session, it has helped me in identifying my, maybe the second calling abhi bol sakte hai, but that you definitely needed to have been my first calling. To bring
Thank
you
you.
up to date, sir, yeah, post that session, I have followed I've been a event management and professional all my life, but always had this inkling towards food and creativity as my passion. So the second phase, after the interaction with you, I followed the second part, and I've been quite successful. I published a couple of my own cookbooks. I have got my own training program for young students who are going abroad. So I have a 4-day cookery workshop specifically tailor-made for them, and doing a lot of content on the food segment. So that has really picked up. So I'm grateful to you for getting me on that particular track.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
for
you
the
so much.
testimonial. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
And it was a
you.
wonderful session. And I'm sure
Thank
that others can also join in and take benefit of this. Jane, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Arvind, for sharing that. When we were discussing, Arvindan, about taking a session for teachers, Edunier community, the thing was, how do we make it useful to this community? Because most of the times, teachers, professors are so busy in doing what they are doing, and what's their passion, what their hobby, what they really want to do
Right.
is kind of forgotten. And how can
Right.
we bring this out through this session? So that was something in my mind, and you had pulled it very well. So
Thank
if
you.
you have any questions from the people who are here, feel free to ask. You can unmute yourself and ask questions to him.
And I'll also leave my email ID and phone number out there,
Yes.
so you guys can connect me. And then right now we are open to questions. And
Hi Jane, hello Arvind sir.
hi,
Hello.
how are you?
I've been
Hi.
following your work since some time and I was connected through you on WhatsApp also.
Right.
So actually like I've seen your work and some other forum also. I think I've seen your work. A
Right.
lot of samples what you showed in the session now.
Right.
So I'm quite familiar with your work
Right.
because possibly I followed your page on Facebook or LinkedIn somewhere.
Yes.
And yes, I can call myself as a fan of your work also.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's so kind.
So actually, like now I have a query. Like, how does it help in transformation? Like working with papers and all this. What
Yeah.
kind of inner transformation happens with all this?
Okay. Yeah. So basically, it's the paper is only the medium which I'm using, right? Okay. So
Yeah.
and the whole thing is about interconnectedness. How do you connect everything to everything? So if you
Okay.
know something, you are actually an individual. You say that I'm knowing something, but actually speaking,
Okay.
you can interconnect to every single thing, right? So now I'll tell you another thing which happened in COVID. Okay. So like I was in COVID, everything shut down, right? So I connected with one friend who's in Sweden, and he's an American, and
Okay.
he's a master palmist. Okay, so he's a
Okay.
guy who has seen about 10,000, so I think 20,000 hands as palm reader, and he's a professional palm reader, right? So, and
Oh,
I'm also a palm reader, and I've seen about
okay.
8,000 hands. Okay, so and how
Wow.
did this? But I never charged. I used to just see it for fun. My father he was in the Air Force, and he had a big flair for astrology, and he had a lot of
Okay.
books. And I was very bad at maths, so I didn't like these
Okay.
calculations of astrological thing. There's one book in the whole book. There was one book of palmistry, and I liked
Hmm.
visual stuff, so I got visual clues of palmistry, right? So we,
Okay.
just a friendly thing. I saw his palm, and he saw my palm. Okay, so we did a
Okay.
exchange stuff. This is just a fun exercise. You're a palmist, I'm a palmist. Let's just see our stuff. And he gave
Yeah.
me a testimonial. I'll post it somewhere else, or maybe in a personal chat with you. Okay. He gave me
Okay.
a testimonial. He said, I've never seen something like this. He says, you have connected Vedic palmistry to modern day chiromancy. And I connect
Oh,
palmistry, I connect astrology, I connect Vedic palmistry and Dasa system of astrology and the Enneagram model. The Enneagram model is exactly what I'm following in this 9 principle here. That's a 9-character Enneagram model. So I connect
okay.
that where I use psychological principles for palmistry. And from then on, he said, you need to charge. I said, like, I've never charged. And, so how much do I charge? So he gave me some, dollar rate. He said, you need to charge 20K. Okay. So I said, look, who's going to come for 20K in India? So I started with 5K. And suddenly with nowhere, nobody knows even that I know palmistry. And suddenly there are a load of clients.
Interesting.
And that's like a huge thing. I become a palmist and an astrologer, and I got, obviously, then when you get encouraged, when you get deep into it. So I got some really deep into that shit, and there's a lot of clients there. And what did I connect? It is the same principle. If you take, it is
Okay.
the same characterization 3691 principle. So basically what is happening in this transformation, it's not the paper. The paper is just a
Okay.
visual medium for me to, it became a personal transformation for me as the paper.
Okay.
You could connect it with what you want. So, but it
Okay.
is such the paper is such a visual form, right? So if like how to, you will see if you read some philosophy and you read some books there, you're not able to picturize it. So
Yeah.
it's just, I'm just using a visual medium to tell something which has
Okay.
been told thousands of years ago. So it's
Okay.
it's simple as that. So
Okay. I think I'll have to explore more because I wish to understand what exactly brings the inner transformation with the paper thing.
yeah, so yeah, let's ask one very basic question. Like, okay, so now, well, when you come and get stuck at some point of time, and you're coming to me or you're coming to anybody else, any other coach, and you say, okay, ask the very question, why? Start with this
Okay.
question of why, like why do you want to be there?
Okay.
So what's the transformation which is heading? You start with the question of what? Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you want in life?
Yeah.
And next you say, okay, how do I get it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you ask the question, okay, why did I want it at the first place?
Yeah.
Okay,
True.
so
What, how,
now,
and why?
yeah, what, how, and why. Now reverse the equation. Okay. Go into why, how, and what. And start with why. Now, where it's very difficult to ask the
Yeah.
question why. It's the emotional desire is always, what do I want?
Yeah.
It's like it's an immediate gratification. Right now I'm hungry. Okay, I want food. What? Okay, what do I want? I want food. It's simple. How do I get it? Okay, I go to the fridge and eat something. It's done. It's quenched. Okay.
True.
Why did I want the food at the same time? How much food do I need for functioning? Yeah. So what happens? You actually tend to eat more food, right, than what you're actually functioning.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
and then you get into trouble, right? Okay. So
Yes.
so yeah. So it's simple as that. Now equate that very equation to something else. So
Okay.
now okay, I'm having a personal problem, and what's it like? I'm wanting more love than what I want. Okay, so from a spouse or a partner. Okay, so I'm wanting more. And then how do I get it? No, instead of getting how do I get it, instead of transforming the other person, you need to transform yourself. So it's a simple, again, just it's the same principle, right? Just like instead of food, it became love. Okay, so
Yes, got it.
Thank
So
you,
what, how,
Nancy.
and why? It's all
how
the
and why,
question.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
And yeah, I can if I can add a little more to it. If you take the equation of this red, blue, yellow, what, how, and why, okay, take it as the three goddesses, right? Okay, it's basically Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Parvati. Okay, power. So the power red is this power. Okay, is basically Parvati. Okay, and wisdom. Okay, so
Saraswati.
And you have red is actually Lakshmi, which is money. Okay, and then you have wisdom, which is Parvati, and then you have desire and knowledge, which is sorry, off. I need to fold it again. See, when you unfold, you have a problem. So,
Interesting.
so yeah, let's get this back. So yeah. So you basically essentially have power, love, and wisdom. Okay, so you have basically money. This is basically money. Okay, so obviously it's Lakshmi, and this is all knowledge, love, and knowledge, which is basically Saraswati, and this is power, which is Parvati. Okay, now the key principle to this is you can't get all three. Okay, in time, you will not get all three. So now the time is vertical in this concept. Okay, right now I'm having an energy. There's an energy exchange happening. Okay, I'm having your time, and there's a knowledge transformation from me to you. There's a knowledge transformation from you to me. So it's a pure knowledge transformation and time happening. Is there any money exchange? No, there is no Lakshmi at this point of time.
Okay.
Is there a Saraswati exchange? Yes, it is happening. And a lot of buckets of your Saraswati and my Saraswati is getting filled right now. Is there also a wisdom exchange? Yes. There's a certain amount of wisdom exchange is happening. Okay, so two buckets are being filled, but one bucket is not there. Okay. The money bucket is not there. In fact, the second bucket also is less. The Saraswati bucket is high right now. So you need to know, where is your bucket? What are you filling?
Okay.
Which bucket are you filling? You cannot fill all three at the same time. That's where it is.
Yeah.
So that's a choice you have to make.
So basically the balancing of all three you're telling.
Exactly. That's all.
So
That's
what,
all
how,
is
and
life.
why Lakshmi, Parvati, and Saraswati.
That's all. That's all you need. Yeah.
Yes, got it. Beautiful explanation, beautiful connection with the gods.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
That's very beautifully
Thank you,
answered.
Jane.
Thank you, Ranjana, for asking this. I have a question. We talk about transformation. So is, in your view, transformation, is it about courage? It is about awareness? Is it about both, or how is it?
Hello, you got stuck.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Can't hear you, Jane.
Okay, I don't know, maybe some connection issue. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I completely lost you. Is it about courage? Is what I heard last.
Can you hear me now? Is it okay?
Yes,
Am
I
I
can.
audible?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so my question is, we talk about transformation. Is transformation also about courage, awareness, consciousness? I mean, whether courage is more important, awareness is more important, your views on that.
Right. Okay. So now you talked about a lot of things. The consciousness is something, a very different chapter, so we won't go there. It's like a very big chapter. Now, when you say courage, it comes into this thing of adversity quotient. Okay. So it's a combination of spiritual quotient and emotional quotient. So it's a combination of wisdom and love. Okay. So it's a combination of the emotions. So you need to have a passion to be able to have courage. And you need to have your spiritual faith to be able to have courage. So courage comes from, imagine you're a freedom fighter and you have the faith that your, that aim which you're going to achieve is way bigger than what you are. The country's freedom is way bigger than your life. So there's a huge faith and there's huge passion towards it. And when these two are mixed, you can face the highest adversity. So when you get yellow and blue mixed, you have adversity quotient, which is green, and green becomes high, super high. So but remember, you always lose something for that. Yeah. We have adversity quotient, you lose the opposite, you lose money. So a person who's super passionate, who's able to face courage at that point of time is going to, he is not really bothered about any money. So when the freedom fighters are fighting, they're not fighting about, they're not getting their personal money at that point of time. Most of the freedom fighters were already rich and they donated all their money towards freedom. Okay, they came from very affluent backgrounds to fight. Whether they fought non-violence or violence, they used their medium, but they were courageous.
Yes. So, okay.
So
Fantastic. Thank you for answering that. Do we have any more questions, or we will end the session today? We can take one more question if we have. I think all are in thinking mode and
thinking.
Yes, it takes some time to absorb when things are new. So thank you, Arvindan, for taking this session, and I hope to see you again with more such sessions, and in detail we will explore something together. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone.
Thank you.